I love it. Attaboy, Miller.
What's up, guys? I am back doing another video here, another recap of a former trip, a past trip. I'm actually doing it the same day as I did another one, so forgive the repeat outfit. But I've got a ton of content. Like I said, we're in this quarantine kind of hanging out, and I've got a lot of videos and pictures that have never seen the light of day. So this is a very fun project for me, actually, so I hope you're enjoying it. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button. It helps me grow the channel and makes this whole thing more enjoyable. So thank you guys for watching. Today's is going to be a pretty quick one, but it's a really cool experience that I had to share. I had some cool pictures and a few video clips that I wanted to share. And it is from Half Dome in Yosemite National Park. So I want to know who has been to Yosemite National Park. Comment below if you have been. Comment below your favorite national park you've ever been to, by the way, because mine are Yosemite and Zion. So Half Dome had been on my bucket list for a long, long time. And it's very hard to get because they only allow so many people up per day. You have to get a permit to hike it because there's this end part where there's these cables that go up the granite Half Dome. It's very, very steep. Pretty much impossible to get up without, it would be impossible to get up without these cables unless you had gear. So they can only allow so many people each day to make sure it doesn't get, just too crazy busy up there and congested, and make sure people are safe and things like that. So people get permits way in advance. You can apply for a lottery pretty much every day, and they allow a couple of people just at random to go up from this lottery pool. But you're supposed to be in the park at the time so that you can just go and do it. Well, I applied for the lottery and ended up getting it, winning the lottery. So we got 5 permits to go hike Half Dome, or 6 permits rather, 6 permits to go hike Half Dome. Me and my friends, Mike, Matt, Travis, Bo, and Jimmy, and then me. So the 6 of us. I called them up, I was like, dudes, I got permits. It's for tomorrow though, and it's a 10-hour drive from where we're at. So kudos to them. We all hopped in cars and we drove out there. Mike and Matt were already in Northern California, so they drove down. But then me, Jimmy, Travis, and Bo hopped in cars and drove out to Yosemite through the night. And I remember, just, funny quick part about the drive, there's 2 parts that I remember. One was we were going through some random towns in Utah and then in Nevada, like central Nevada, places that I'd never been to before. They were like ghost towns, kind of weird. Seems like the type of town you're going to if you just want to get away from life. So that's an experience in and of itself, by the way, if you want to just go through central no man's land, Nevada. But then there was another part I remember, and it was at night. It was kind of dark, and the road was almost like a roller coaster. Like it was like a straightaway, and it wasn't mountainous, but it was just a little bit hilly. So it was just like a roller coaster, just boom, 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 boom. And the faster we went, like the freakier it got and the more fun it got. So that was kind of a cool part of the drive. But we get there late. We stay in a hotel just outside the park and crash on the floor, just kind of cram into this hotel room, get as much sleep as we can, because the next morning we've got this huge hike. It's, I don't remember how long it is. I think it's like a 12-mile round trip hike or something like that. And it is just the most gorgeous hike you've ever seen. Waterfalls that are just absolutely massive, several of them along the way, and just amazing meadows and forests, and just granite structures everywhere, these mountains that were just unbelievable.
This is awesome. This is video, guys.
Really cool hike, a very difficult hike, and you get to that last part and the cables are it's the coolest part of the hike. Like that part alone, which is only like the last 1/5 of the hike, there's this kind of winding switchback area to get up to where the cables start, and that is the most treacherous part of the whole hike. You just can't wait to be done and get there. But then you get to the cables, and it is just straight up, and you're just like, how on earth am I gonna hike this thing, And I remember there was this box of gloves at the bottom, and I had my GoPro and stuff, and I was like, oh, I don't need gloves. I'm gonna, I'll be fine, start going. I get up like a few feet, a few steps up the cables, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go back and get some gloves. So luckily there were gloves in the box at the bottom, but if you ever do Half Dome, I would say take your own gloves, take some really good shoes too, because it's long and it's difficult. Take plenty of water. So we go up, and there's like these wooden slats, every like 6 to 10 feet that are part of the cable, and that way, because your feet will just literally slide. In fact, I've got a video I'll show you of Mike on the way down, just skiing down in his tennis shoes, like skiing down the granite slab into the next, you know, wooden slat.
I love it.
Very, very steep, very cool. We get to the top, and we kind of had staggered times a little bit because the farther the hike went along, the more we kind of separated, whereas at the beginning we were all together. And my good friend Matt Beck, he had worn like these combat boots from the army that his dad gave him or something that were not a good idea for hiking, very heavy. I don't think they fit him very well, and they were just annihilating his feet. So he had gotten a lot slower. He had taken them off, and our good friend Travis miraculously had a second pair of shoes with him in his bag, which was, that in and of itself is a miracle. But then he was kind enough to lend those to Matt, so Matt finished the hike in those shoes. Matt came up a good half hour after us or so, and just sheer determination. We were so stoked to see him because we honestly didn't think that he was going to reach the top, but determined dude, he got there, and we had a ton of fun. We just sat up there for at least a good hour, taking in the scenery, eating some lunch, watching the squirrels eat everybody's food. There's a lot of squirrels up there. We got to see some climbers that were climbing, like actually rock climbing up the face of Half Dome. We got to see them summit at the very end, which was really a cool experience. I love rock climbing. I don't know that I'd ever go do Half Dome, but it was a cool experience to watch them do it. And I remember it was a little bit freaky because I'm familiar with rock climbing. I've done it plenty, and I could tell that they were, between belayer and climber, they were not quite on the same page. There was a little bit of a tiff going on. And people were like hooting and hollering at him, excited, and I was like, oh, let's like let them focus for a quick minute here until they actually reach the top and are, you know, safely at the top, because they're not there yet, and there's some stuff going on. But anyway, they did reach the top, safe and sound.
One good look.
We drove through the night and are now beginning our ascent of Half Dome and just ran into this. It just doesn't stop. Waterfall after waterfall. We've been trekking for a few hours now. We're gonna go stand right on top. Relax. Take a flight. We are
Almost there.
about a third of the way up the face. Dome.
Just about.
And here we are. Well, we have officially summited Half Dome, where they once said no human foot would ever step. We are here.
After we'd been up there for a while, we went down together, got some cool videos together and pictures together on the actual, you know, Half Dome portion itself. That night the hike down, we got down just before dark, which was really nice. It was like dusk, and we were able to find like a tent cabin type of thing that we all crammed into and crashed that night. And the next day we did a little bit of driving around sightseeing, but for the most part we just took off and drove back home. It was a very quick trip, but a bucket list item, checked off the list. It was amazing. So if you ever have the chance to go to Yosemite National Park and do Half Dome, I highly recommend it. That is today's video. Please like, please subscribe, please comment. You guys are awesome.